Hi everybody, Lindsay here from Lindsay Ann Learning, the best place on the interwebs for you as an English teacher to get inspiration and ideas for your own teaching practice, as well as activities that you can use directly with your students. This video is actually one of the latter. You can use it directly with your students. Let me explain how this video is put together and the thinking behind the slide order. I have 11 different excerpts from student personal statements. I'm going to first show you a slide with the original version as written by the student. This is so that if you would like to use this video with your students, you can hit the pause button and have it projected and ask the students to quickly in the writer's notebooks revise for clarity, the elimination of wordiness, and perhaps the addition of interesting details. Then you will be able to see the original version compared and contrasted with the suggested revised version so that you can then talk through changes that the students might have made and kind of the reasoning behind. At that point, you can freeze the video and ask the students what they notice. It's important to know that there's not one right way to revise these pieces of writing. This is just my suggested way to revise, eliminating cliches, eliminating redundancy, eliminating to be verbs when necessary, eliminating the fluff from writing that doesn't really show versus tell, eliminating details that might be boring and not very interesting. This is one of those activities that I put together as a result of seeing student work in my senior creative writing and literature class. They were writing personal statements for college apps at the time. And I noticed just upon a quick scan through, gathering data, that students were really struggling with expressing themselves in a clear and concise and engaging way. And so I took an excerpt from 11 of the pieces of writing in that class. What you're going to see is draft level raw student writing, and then you're going to see suggested revisions. I think that this is definitely a final step in the revision process, one that students might struggle with because A, they don't know what it looks like, they need modeling, or B, they just don't want to put in the time and effort it takes to fine-tune and finesse all of their sentences at that level. Because let's face it, it takes time, and unless students are able to see how clear their writing can become and how much more their ideas can pop as a result of this final step of eliminating wordiness from their writing, they don't see the value in it. So it's our job as teachers, I think, to model for them, to help them see the value and help them understand the thinking process behind it. Here are directions that you can share with your students, the same directions that I shared with my students. Without further ado, I'm going to flip through the excerpts and then the revisions so that you are able to pause where you need to and talk through this process of streamlining with your students. Here is excerpt number 1, original version, and then the revised version. Here is excerpt number 2, the original version, and then the revised version. Here is excerpt number 3, the original version. And then here is the revised version. Here is excerpt number 4, the original version, the revised version. Here is excerpt number 5, original version, and here is the revised version. You can see in addition to the streamlining here, this writer definitely needs more specific show versus tell details. So there are 2 spots where I'm suggesting that these could be added. So you could brainstorm there with students what might be said or inserted in those places. Here is excerpt number 6, the original version, and the revised version of number 6. Again, here giving some suggestions in the end about how this writer could continue writing because this was the entirety of his draft. Here is excerpt number 7, original version, and then the revised version. Excerpt number 8, original version, and the revised version here. Here is excerpt number 9, original version, and the revised version. Excerpt 10, original version, and the revised version. And excerpt number 11, original version. Here is the revised version. Again, here, this writer needed a lot of help adding in show versus tell details. So you could, again, pause and brainstorm with your students what might be added. And that's that. I hope that this video has been a useful resource, created productive conversation between you and your students, and given you another tool in your teacher toolbox as you work with students on those fine-tuning and revision skills where they need to really work on adding clarity to their writing and eliminating all of the fluff, all of the wordiness that they've been taught over the years to add in to get to those page length requirements, but they don't realize that in the process of trying to write more that they often don't need a lot of that it's cluttering their good ideas. If you enjoyed this video, I would love to hear from you in the comments, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and of course that little happy bell notification so that you can be alerted of even more great videos like this to use with your students. I'll see you next time.